It's me again, your boy Danny, with my fourth episode of my cooking show, which I've named The Road to the Kitchen. It is Sunday, September the 8th. I've just got out of church and I had the taste for something my grandma used to make all the time. It's called stewed potatoes, or iced potatoes, what she would call them. And so I called my aunt, who is now taking the place of my grandmother, for us cooking, and make sure I had the recipe right in my head. But today's country meal is going to be fried pork chops, rice, gravy, and stewed potatoes. Now, I've already started my stewed potatoes, but let me give you the recipe. You just get several potatoes, cut them up to chunks. I like eggs in mine. Some people like different stuff. So you gotta put the 2 eggs in there so the eggs will boil. Salt and pepper the potatoes to your taste. Also, you can use a little bit of oil right here. Just put a little bit of oil, maybe a cup, a lid full, maybe 2 lid fulls. Put it in there and you salt and pepper your potatoes to your taste and to your liking. This was one of the things that my grandmother cooked quite often when I lived with her, and it was fantastic. And for the past few months, I've been craving it, so I finally went and got it and pulling the trigger on that. That's one component of the meal that I'm preparing today for a Sunday country dinner. The second one you see, second component, is the pork chops. Some people like bone in, some people like boneless, some people like the thick, some people like the thin. I got the thin because they had more in there. I got 7 pieces. Me and my wife will be enjoying this. And also, I get them thin versus thick. So what you do is, once you take them out of the pack, you pat them dry. Then you add your salt and pepper, like you always hear me say. I always cook with Himalayan pink salt. And also, I'm going to use regular black pepper, but it has a grind on it. I like that better than the traditional pepper. And then whatever season that you like, you can put on your pork chops, but that's what I like. The rice, which is the third component of this deep meal today, has already been prepared. It's in the pot. As you can see it right there. My wife cooked that for me. Now I'm going to season the pork chop. Pork chops. This lid is not being cooperative. There we go. So I take it, put a little bit on there on each side, not too thick because the pork chops are thin. And this salt is strong. Put too much on there to overpower it. We don't want to overpower the, now I'm gonna have to put this down. Let me see, I can open up my tripod so we can see it. Let's open up the tripod. You can see it right there. I'm opening up the tripod in position where you can see. And I'll be using the grinder, pepper, to grind the pepper on both sides. You don't want them too thick if you don't want to overpower the meat. Put a less than generous amount. Then I'm going to flip them over. And I'm going to season the other side. Salt. Not too generously, like I said. Himalayan salt is strong. You don't want to overpower the meat. And then I'm going to go back behind it with the pepper. The You grind it to your liking. Some people like less pepper, some people like more. Whatever suits your taste, that's what you add to it. Now, as you see, I got a seasoned salt, pepper. There's the pot I'm going to be using. Whatever oil you like. Sorry about that. Use whatever cooking oil you like. I don't think I would use olive oil, but I probably would use vegetable oil, canola oil, or possibly peanut oil. But some people love cooking with olive oil. In this case, I wouldn't do it. But in this case, I'm going to be using vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is what I'm going to be using. Like I've said, I'm going to get some flour out now. I'm going to coat. I use the self-rising flour. And what I will do is I will pour some of the flour into a container. And that's what I'm going to use to coat the pork chop with. Now, the reason why I patted it earlier was because if you don't pat it and dry it, the flour will not stick to the pork chop. It won't be a good coat. So by patting it dry, it's going to stick more to the meat. The way it give you a better cook. But I'm going to use the self-rising flour, like I said. I'm going to make sure that I put it in the flour. I'm getting ready to cook it in my pan. And I'm going to go from there. Right now, as you can see, my potatoes are stewing down quite nicely. I got my 2 eggs in there because once the eggs are boiled and cooked, I will cut them up into stewed potato. I'm going to stir it around, make sure the potatoes are cooking at the consistency and the texture that I want. Some people like them a little bit more mushy. Some people like them a little bit more stern, I guess is the proper word. So it's whatever you like them. I like mine kind of midway between. Bosco says, here, I am at work looking at the master chef getting hungry. Hey, man, I'm always looking for a good recipe to cook or try. It's been a long time since I had my grandma's stewed potato, but they are delicious. If you never had them before, make them. It'll change your life. Are you going to be able to work today? Come on the show today, Guy Scar? I know you had family in town last week. Just a quick change off the topic. If you have those of you that have Netflix, there was a movie me and my wife watched last night, and my boy Anzo told me about it. It's on Netflix. It was just sounds good, yes sir. It's called Rebel Ridge. I don't know who the actor is, the star of it. I've seen him before on the show Krypton. He's a black actor, but he's an ex-Marine. He goes to this town, and the town is just crookedy. The cops are crookedy like you would not believe. Don Johnson is the chief of police for that particular police department. He's only started in there that I recognize. But man, it is good. It's about 2 hours and 11 minutes, but it's good. It's called Rebel Ridge. If you got Netflix, check it out. It's a good watch. I'm going to mention it to Rob today, and hopefully he watch it. Maybe we can discuss it on the show tonight. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Storms Live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We discuss all different sorts of things as it relates to movies, MCU, DCU, Star Wars, whatever. Yes, guys, Scar, it is good. So definitely check it out. Now, while I'm waiting on stewed potatoes to finish, I'm gonna prep my pot for cooking other pork chops. I got a cast iron pot we bought here a few months ago. I've already seasoned it. And now I'm going to pour my vegetable oil in there in preparation of cooking the pork chops. Pouring it in there. That should be enough. Since it's thin, with sticky pork chops, you can use more oil. But as you know now, grocery stores prices are crazy. So it's better to cut corners, and not cut corners, but cut costs as much as humanly possible. So that's why another reason why I got the thicker pork chop with a thinner pork chops versus the thicker pork chops. I like the thick pork chops when they're fried, but hey, thin eat just as well. Seven of them, I'll probably take care of 2 or 3. Or I have to take care of 2 or 3, and then maybe I take some for lunch tomorrow. Just depends on. Okay, gotta go. Peace, brother. Same to you, brother. See you tonight. But like I said, I'm looking at the stewed potatoes, and they're getting about the consistency that I want them to get. Let me again put this on my trap. As you can see, I have the potatoes here. I'm going to taste and see if they got enough salt to my liking. To my liking, I'm going to smidge more salt. So I'm going to add a little bit more salt to it. But they are basically done. I'm going to take a pair of tongs and I'm going to pull out the eggs. Well, this is what I do. Those eggs right now are boiling hot. So what I do, get a palm, as you see I got a cup of water, I take them up. Oh, slipper, 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 slipper. And I put it in the water so it'll cool off. When you pick that egg up now, it'll burn you. And once it's cooled off, then I'm able to crack it open and peel it. Once I crack it open and peel it, and I can cut it and add it into my egg. And I take the same one, the next egg, and I lower my, I can hit it, put it in the water to cool it down. because it still is warm from that hot water it was in. And I peel it. And I'm peeling it, and it's still hot, people. It is hot. But I got it cooled down enough. I can hold it with my hand. Take my knife. And I cut it up. And I mix it generously. Add a little bit more pepper for color. And as you can see, that is the finished product. I'm gonna set that to the side. Boom, 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 boom. Then I'm going to put the pan with my pork chop. I'm gonna prepare my pork chop in. I'm gonna turn that on and get the grease hot. While the grease is hot, getting hot, I'm going to bread my pork chop in the flour. Now, as you can see, I have 2 pieces of the pork chop breaded, and I have my rest ready to get prepared to get into that. As soon as my grease gets to temperature, I'm going to place them into the pan and start the frying process. Shouldn't take that long. It's cast iron. I have a gas stove, and gas gets hotter way quicker than electric stove does, so it shouldn't take long to get that going. Once I get that going, I'm going to cook in, place maybe 2 to 3 pieces of chicken into the pan. You don't want to crowd it, because when you crowd it, then that cuts away the heat and they don't cook evenly. So you want to make sure you have enough space in there. Don't overcrowd the pan, because when you overcrowd the pan, it takes a little bit longer. Meats don't get as hot, and it'll hinder the cooking process. So make sure never overcrowd the pan. So as you can see, grease is starting to warm up in my pan. My rice is done. Mashed potatoes are done. Now, I know you're probably saying, Danny, that's a lot of starch. It is. I'm probably not going to eat any rice. I'm not a big rice eater anyhow. My wife, she loves the rice. She's probably going to eat the rice and the pork chop. But I'm going to eat the stewed potatoes and the pork chop. And of course, like I told y'all last time, this house does not go without the best hot sauce on the planet, which is Texas Pete. So I got some Texas Pete to go on my chops, and all will be right in the universe, at least while I'm eating that food. So I can feel the heat over the pan, and I'm going to place one of my pork chops into the grease to start cooking. Let me set up my camera and we'll go. you can see, it's frying up nicely in my pan. I'm gonna fry it till it's golden brown on both sides. Should be somewhere I'm thinking between 6 to 7 minutes. Says fried pork chop is one of my favorites. I think I may like fried pork chop better than fried chicken actually. So I'm gonna fry it probably about maybe 4 minutes on each side. And we'll check it from there. While this is frying, I've already got 2 more ready to put into the fryer. As soon as this gets done, then I'm gonna go ahead and do all 7 of mine in total, and then we'll be at the end of the Sunday meal, which is pork chop, rice, and stewed potatoes. As you can see, I just flipped it. And I'm gonna let it sit on there about another 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'll flip it again. I think I did that 3 or 4 times, and I should be good to go. You can see it's frying up quite nicely. A few more minutes and we should be done with our first batch. Make sure the right coating on this, like the coating on the first batch came off. I want to make sure I got a lot on there. Make sure it sticks. I don't want it to cook off. Make sure I got a lot on there. Oh, this is going up against Football Sunday. So maybe people will watch this on the review tomorrow. On the replay tomorrow. We go back. It's not quite nicely. Wait another minute. We can take these first 2 out, and we'll put the second 2 in, and we'll keep going from there. First 2, I'm going to put in a second. And as you can see, my first two, got that light golden brown texture to them. They're gonna come out just like I like them. Just like I like them. Again, I know I'm going up. I'm competing against football Sunday at the NFL. That's a no-brainer. I'm going to lose every time. I just wanted to show you briefly uh, a good Sunday country meal down here in the South, where I'm at here in South Carolina. This is one of the meals that I had many a days when I was living at home with my grandparents, my aunt and uncle, and now I'm paying it forward, showing y'all, and now me and my wife are about to enjoy this fantastic meal. So, got about 3 more pieces to cook, and we'll have this come to a conclusion. Let me switch it back to the pot to see how it's frying, and then we'll go from there. Frying up quite nice. Some people like their pork chop fried a little bit hard. I like the mid. Not too hard, not too soft. Just nice golden brown. I'm good to go with it. You just fry it up to however you like it. Like I said, some people prefer it fried a little bit harder. That's hard. Just whatever your personal preference is. Personal preference. What it comes down to, personal preference. That bottom wasn't cooked done enough for me. That's why I'm holding it down, because it puffs up sometimes from the heat. So I'm holding it down to get that side a little bit darker and brown the way I like it. So I'm going to use it as well. Out. This one out as well. Ready for 2 more. See? That's my alarm going off. I'll take care of that real quick. In there. Apologize for that. That was my alarm going off. I opened up some of the windows. I also turned up it a little bit higher. Like I said, because these are thin pork chops, it's gonna cook a little bit faster than the thicker one would. I'm gonna say maybe 8, 9 minutes total. Your chops are done, ready to go. Keep flipping them so they make sure each side cooks and browns evenly. And just keep it up till you get to a consistent color that you like, and go from there. Well, I'm finishing up my last batch. My pork chops. You can take them out. They're nice and golden brown. Get the grease strip off of them. Add one to my plate. I'm going to add I apologize for my alarm going off. There's smoke in here from cooking. I'm just going to end by saying this is a fantastic meal. Fried pork chop, stewed potatoes, and rice. It's a country staple here in the South. Until my next show, where I'll do better. Take it easy and peace.